Hey guys, how you doing today? Just went and got myself a burrito, went and picked up some needed materials on my way home. Figure, hey, what the heck, I might as well do a video, right? So I'm sure you guys have heard by now that the liberal government has voted no to a Pharmacare movement, or a motion, I should say. For those of us who have been following along with the Liberal Party this whole time, yeah, like we know. Liberals are spineless. They're complete cowards. And you can see that on almost every single file, right? Like, in the case of Pharmacare, they've been making this promise for 24 years. They know that it's a popular promise to make. They know that people will go along with the Liberal Party as if the Liberals are actually interested in passing this legislation just because the Liberals are saying that they're interested in passing the legislation. They're not going to pass that legislation. Like, why would they ever give up a piece of propaganda as long as it keeps working, right? As long as people keep falling for this overt and obvious grift that they've been pulling for the last 24 years, right? Oh yeah, sure, we'll do Pharmacare, absolutely, absolutely. Oh, we just don't see a path for Pharmacare right now. Oh yeah, we'll do Pharmacare, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Just don't think we'll be able to make Pharmacare. And for sure, in the next election, they're gonna say, oh yeah, we'll do Pharmacare, right? Because as long as people keep falling for this overt and obvious grift, as long as they keep believing the Liberals when they stand up and say obvious lies directly to their face, then why should they stop, right? Why should they stop? And this cowardliness that exists within the Liberals, right? You can see it way back to the early days. One of the major promises they made on the way in was electoral reform. Remember when they said that they were going to do electoral reform? Well, they got into office and they started working on electoral reform, and the second they saw that it wasn't going to immediately be a slam dunk for their permanent governance forever, they abandoned the project. Which is exactly the coward's way out, right? Like, they took a look at the preliminary numbers and saw that if people's voting intentions were exactly as they were now with the electoral system that was emerging from their own work, then they would have slightly less power. You know what a person with courage would have said? You know what a person with courage would have said? A person with courage would have gone, you know what? Maybe according to those numbers, sure, we would lose a little bit of power, but we have to put faith in the electorate, and we have to put faith in our process that if we pass popular legislation that people like, they will come out and they will vote for us, irregardless of the system that's in place. But that's not how cowards think, right? Cowards think, how do I game this system for my own benefit? And if you're voting for the Liberals because they keep saying, we plan on passing Pharmacare, then guess what? You're falling for their game, because the game is always, with Liberals, don't do anything, appear as though you are doing things. Because as far as the populace is concerned, the appearance of doing things is just as good as doing things. In some cases, far more preferable to doing things. I mean, you can see this in the United States, right? Like, leftists, if they exist in the States, and liberals and centrists are all over the moon that Joe Biden is in office and invading Syria right now, right? Like, at least it's not Donald Trump invading Syria. Ooh, Donald Trump would have made the Syrian invasion look really gross. Joe Biden makes the Syrian invasion look really nice. So that's good enough. Such is the liberal mindset, right? Not, hey, how about no invasion on Syria? Hey, how about no bombing of Syria? And I mean, the liberal cowardice extends to every bill they've ever done. The basic income statement, where they say, oh, there's no path. Well, inside of their ranks, there's one MP, Julie DeBrusen. She's been pushing forward on a basic income. I mean, God bless her heart, right? Like, good for her. What is going to happen if this motion continues to get pushed forward, which I suspect it will be stalled, and that will be the end of it, right? Julie DeBrusen will be shuffled off, right? They'll find a replacement for her because they're not interested in passing that kind of legislation for Canadians, right? They're interested in getting Canadians into temporary programs that when this pandemic can officially be declared over, they can then taper off and force people back to go work for the billionaire class, right? They can abandon people back into the capitalist structure. That's the liberal plan. That's what the liberals want to do. So, I expect the same kind of cowardly actions from the liberals as they always do, right? They'll sidestep the issue, they'll stall the issue, and if it gets put to a vote, well, guess what? It'll be Julie DeBrusen, maybe the NDP, standing up and saying yes, and then the liberals will side with the conservatives, right? As they do whenever it comes to economic issues. It's interesting how, the liberals, yeah, we're your best friend ever if you're black, or if you have a diversity issue, or if you have a sexuality issue, if you have a personal identity issue. Yeah, we're your best friend ever. Vote liberal, woohoo. Now go work for billionaires for nothing. Go work for billionaires for nothing, right? We're hard-nosed allies with the conservatives on the issue of your oppression. But hey, rainbow flag. This is the activity of a total coward, right? Somebody who's willing to superficially support who you are, but not actually materially support who you are. And it's the same story with their vote on the Chinese Uyghur genocide, right? This CIA propaganda. And the liberals know it's CIA propaganda. Why didn't they vote yes? Why didn't Justin Trudeau and his cabinet vote yes for this issue? Why did they abstain, right? They stand up and they say, we disagree with this Uyghur genocide narrative, but we're not going to disagree. We're just not going to vote. We're just going to cowardly sidestep the issue because we're cowards. And we're not actually interested in presenting narratives that counter the prevailing imperial ideology or narrative, right? We're just going to sidestep the issue completely, let all the other parties go along with this obvious, overt, grifting propaganda coming out of the CIA. We're not going to mention that it's propaganda from the CIA. We're not going to talk about that. We're just going to let these gullible stooges and complicit bootlickers go along with this. And the reality is that we just keep voting for these guys, right? This is the thing. It works, right? Being these simpering cowards is working. And it's obviously working. How do we know it's working? They keep getting power, right? We keep voting for them. And so, as I do on this channel all the time, I've got to bring it all the way back to, why are we voting for these guys? Like, what are we doing? Why are we sitting there constantly in this state where we feel the need to vote for people who are obviously there to betray us, who obviously are completely disinterested in actually helping us, who obviously are sitting there thinking of ways to look like how to do work, but then don't actually do any work, right? If you acted the way that liberals act in your own job, you would be fired, right? If you acted the way that liberals act on your job, you would be fired, right? Like your boss comes up to you and says, hey, I need X or Y or Z done, right? Can you do X, Y, or Z? And you go, yeah, absolutely, boss. For sure I can do that. Absolutely, boss. I can make that happen. In fact, I can do that better than anybody can do that. No one in the history of doing things will do that thing that you need me to do as much as I can do. And your boss goes, oh, yeah, great. And he leaves, right? And then you sit around and dicker, basically. That's all the liberals ever do. They just dicker. They don't actually work. They don't actually do anything. They're like the capitalists, right? They pretend as though they're these big hotshots, but they're actually doing nothing. They're not actually interested in doing anything. And if they do anything, it's just to formulate big, gigantic propaganda pieces to convince you that they can't do the thing that you told them to do. So then your boss comes back, right? And goes, did you do that thing I asked you to do? and you say, you know what? No, I didn't. I didn't do that thing you asked me to do. I didn't do that thing you told me to do. Yeah, I didn't do that thing I promised to do. Yeah, no, didn't do it. I just couldn't see a path for it, right? And then maybe your boss would go, well, why didn't you? Right? To which the Liberals never actually have a response. They never actually say, like, well, I didn't do it for legitimate reasons, because they don't have legitimate reasons. Because the reason we were telling them to do these things in the first place was because we knew that we needed them done, and we had legitimate reasons to do them. Oh, well, hello, I've got a puppy here.
Hello.
Hey. So we're the bosses, right? And the Liberals want us to forget that, right? We're the voters. We say, do this. They say, okay. And then if they got into power and say, oh, no, I can't actually do that, the way that my employee in this scenario is doing, well, what's going to happen, right? Well, your boss is going to go, well, hold on. I know that you can do the thing that I am telling you to do, right? I'm telling you to do it. You told me that you could do it, and now you're telling me that you're not going to do it. So you're fired, right? Pretty simple, right? Pretty simple and straightforward. Because we are the ones who know what needs to be done. We're the ones living our own lives. We're the ones that are looking around going like, hey, isn't it weird that the Liberal government currently in power can give billions of dollars in corporate handouts through like wage subsidies, through quantitative easing, through all of stimulus, all this kind of stuff, but gives absolutely nothing at all to the populace? Oh, weird. Weird how if you're like a multinational billion-dollar corporation or a hereditary billionaire like David Thompson, you can get huge gifts and giveaways from the government. But if you're just like a person attempting not to starve on the street, you can go get wrecked, right? You can just get thrown out the door. And so we as the populace go, yeah, we know that you can do this. Like, we know, we've seen you do it. We've watched you do it. And then they turn around and go, yeah, you know, I don't see a path for it, right? And it's because they're complete simps for power. That's it. They're just complete simps for corporate power. They want to go to brunch. They want to go to their billionaire class. They want to go hang out with rich people and rub elbows with wealthy oligarchs. They're not interested in you. They don't know who you are, right? You live on the street. You live in a shabby little apartment, right? They're not interested in helping you. Why would they care about helping you? That doesn't give them accolades or wealth or money or any of the things that they actually care about, right? It doesn't further their career or their ambitions, right? You can go out and die as far as they're concerned, because that's how cowards operate, right? They're not interested in helping people who are powerless. They're interested in cleaning the boots of the wealthy class with their tongue. That's what they're interested in. And we should fire them for it, right? We should fire them for it. The idea right now that the Liberal Party is enjoying like 35 to 40% popularity at this moment just tells you everything you need to know, right? We are completely, either we're completely tuned out of politics, which seems very likely, or we're happy. We're happy to lick the boots of the corporate capitalist class along with the Liberals. And we shouldn't. We shouldn't. It's very simple. I don't see any reason to vote Liberal right now. They're offering nothing, and even if they do offer something, well, they've offered lots of things in the past. They've been offering Pharmacare for the last 24 years. Well, where's that gone? And this is legislation they could pass overnight. It would take no time at all. We have the legislation drawn up. It mirrors exactly what we've done with our universal healthcare system. It's not difficult legislation. Well, I should be clearer. It is difficult legislation, but it's legislation we've already created and passed. Okay, guys, this is the end of me. Stop voting Liberal. Like, share, subscribe. There's your like button. Hit that like button. Doink, doink, doink. Share this around to your liberal and conservative friends. Piss them off because they deserve to be pissed off. They should be pissed off. But they shouldn't be pissed off at you. They should be pissed off at their own ineffectual, cowardly leadership. And hey, don't forget to subscribe. If you've made it to this point and you haven't subscribed, I think it's interstellar law. I think you have to subscribe. Hey, give me some money. Down in the Patreon below. Boom, boom. Got my Patreon down below. Gotta eat, just like the rest of us. Okay, guys. Go meet your neighbor. Go have a drink. Go try and have some fun with your life. Good luck. We're gonna need it.